Thank you. Do you want to sit there? I'll take that. Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor and councillors. Isn't it great to see Pete still involved, actually? It's wonderful. I just wanted to, will be my final presentation as Mayor of, I got confused trying to remember that you were Deputy Mayor, not Mayor.
I do too.
I sat at the end of the table calling you Madam Mayor for years. As Chairman of the Rod Donald Trust, as I'm standing down, and thank you very much for your appointment of the new trustees, who will be excellent. What we're going to do, we're going to look at one item that's already in the LTP, two items that need tweaking, and one item that has no cost implications. So, the Rod Donald Trust covers the area of the Peninsula, which you're well aware of, and the trust was set up with endowment funds from the old council. We're using the council's public space strategy, which was adopted by the council in 2010, and it was as a result of consultation and working with landowners and the residents of Christchurch. The trust is committed to the Littleton head-to-head walkway. Andrew Turner, our trust member, will be pleased to see this, seeing he helped write it. And the green lines show where the tracks already exist or there are public connections. The red lines show private land crossings. And we support the funding provided for this project in the LTP. These are four of the groups that we work with on the Peninsula: the Banks Peninsula Conservation Trust, the Orton Bradley Park. We put funding into both of those groups each year. The Passion for the Port Hills and the Quail Island. And these are all working to support the environmental and ecological health of the peninsula, and three of them support public access. The Little River Rail Trail needs to be fully connected to the city cycleway network. It's becoming more widely used as the and is a key to the Little River community development. We're pretty enthusiastic about that. Sorry, I forgot to turn my phone off. It's good, isn't it? Yeah, no, smash it against the wall. Guess what my hobby is? But the off-road connection from Little River, we suggest an off-road cycleway connects Hallswell to City Cycleway as well as to the old Taitapu Road. We think that that's something that's quite important. This will enable people from Port Hills, eastern and central areas to access the trail safely on their bikes. When Banks Peninsula became part of the city, we had the first delegation that challenged the way we'd operated as a council. When the local community came to us and asked us for the materials to repair their wharf, and that they did not want any assistance other than the materials, which was just superb. These are an important part of the Banks Peninsula and need council support, and they are widely hang on, I'll just... They've obviously left a message. And the trust supports the council's intention to work with the communities on these wharfs. Now, this is one of the council staff members beside a small rock that had fallen on the road. We're a huge fan of the Regional Parks team, and we just want to say to you that they play an important role of linking together the local community and the council. And so we support their their position in the council. We think they need to be acknowledged for what they do, and we're concerned about their reduced satisfaction levels and their budget. So we think they need the support. The key issue that we want to raise with you today is to call for the council to embrace, and this will be something that this starts the process rather than an end in itself. We have stitched together, whatever you like to call, the spine of the lizard. We've worked with, we're looking to link existing networks on the peninsula, and we have been working largely with DOC. But for instance, there's something on this network that's actually pretty spectacular, that people talk about the Tane Mahuta in the north of the North Island. There is a 2,000-year-old tree on this network that in fact we don't acknowledge as a local community, and it's pretty important. The project commenced in June 2013 when the Trust and DOC signed an MOU to investigate the basic concept. There's been amazing progress since. The Council Regional Parks team have been absolutely amazing, and we are now seeking an endorsement by the Trust so that we can get people to sort of grow support and knowledge of walking in an area which is part of the city. They're highly accessible, easy to walk, and there's a group of kids that had their seven-year-old birthday party in the hut that I'll talk about in a few minutes. So there's a lot of environmental understanding that needs to be gathered up and to teach our children and our families in Christchurch that within the city of Christchurch we've got all these amazing opportunities. We have handed out the book on the project. So, and I'll just go. This is, we're out talking with tramping clubs, we're talking to schools, we've had a research project done at Lincoln University of how we can engage young people in the area, and we're trying to actually bring in Lincoln's knowledge base, our experience, our networks to actually promote this as a pretty exciting thing. The progress to date you'll see on the left-hand side is a hut that our Trust has purchased, and I think this will be the first hut built in the network since 1916.
Oh, some very little ones have been up and down with tramping clubs back in the 30s, 40s and 50s, but it's the most significant progress there's been in 50 years.
That hut on the right-hand side is the sign of the pack horse, which was one of Harry Hill's huts, and this is, our hut is enabling people to actually continue a tramp, and it can be a 2-day tramp. DOC have a capital bid in to mark and signpost the tracks. The pack horse hut is also subject to earthquake repairs. So, and we're also working with key landowners to secure public access. So basically what we are saying as a trust is to retain in the plan your Littleton head-to-head, your Peninsula organisation grants, to adjust to connect the Little River Rail Trail to Hallswell, speed up assistance for wharfs and jetties, don't cut the regional parks budget, and to add the sign of the lizard in as a project for the council to embrace. Thank you. Was I inside 10 minutes? Yeah. Let she who is without sin cast the first stone.
The names of the roads or the route that you wanted the cycleways at Hallswell again? Hallswell to City, was it?
Yeah, the Hallswell, linking the end of the cycleway in Hallswell through at least as far as the beginning of the Old Taitapu Road. It's only a very short section along what is effectively State Highway 75. That enables cyclists to join the Little River Rail Trail, whereas at the moment you have the trail called the Little River Link, but really what that is a link out to Hornby, and who, as a recreational cyclist, is going to cycle to Hornby in order to cycle back.
Right, I
to
thank you, I just
Motukarara.
didn't quite catch that.
And thank you for your hand signals from the car the other day, Gary, so I knew which way you were going.
I was able to signal to him as he drove past.
Tell you about them later, but just the, I noticed Mount Bradley, I think there's a lot of gorse at the back. Have you got some good sort of community partnerships there to working with DOC, etc., to try and, you know, clear some of those trails? And
There is an issue with weeds.
But we have cleared the track behind Mount Bradley, and it has been open for the last 18 months. So you can now walk through from Packhorse Hut to the summit of Mount Herbert, and the trust paid in conjunction with DOC out of a joint fund to get a contractor up that and clear it, and it's still clear last time I went through.
quite walkable, just seemed to be a fair bit of
Sorry, I
gorse
forgot
there.
to introduce Suki Thompson, who works for the trust, who is the brains. Oh.
I see in some of the pictures too, there's a few cross-country cyclists in the photos, which is great. There is a group who are working hard on the sort of the south side of the hills, even around Upper Huntsbury part. I'm just wondering if there's a way, and they're working with the regional parks people too, Gary. So I'm just wondering if there's a way that in fact that project might be able to be linked with the spiny lizard.
Oh, Suki can.
Well, we went and spoke to, I presume you're talking about the Mount Vernon Park Trust
That area,
and the
yes.
Summit Road
Not
Society.
the trust themselves. It's a separate group of very enthusiastic cross-country cyclists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can certainly work with them. We see cycling access along, but you really can only get as far as Packhorse Hut on a bike at the moment. You can't get any further, and at this stage we're really concentrating on getting it as a walking route to start with, because it's technically pretty difficult to get it as a cycling route.
Look, I see that as the focus. It's just how we perhaps have the spiral links to
And there's some pretty exciting potential around Little River,
Yeah.
in and out of Little River, and that could actually make Little River a pretty spectacular centre for cycling.
Excellent.
Yeah, yes.
We've had a group from Governor's Bay about their wharf. We've had the Robinson's Bay guys coming with about their wharf. We're looking at the Ekaroa wharf. With regards to all those groups, you know, they've all got skills, they've all got ability to find materials. Have you, as an organisation, been working with each group? Because they've come to us individually, and my thinking was that if they all got together with the assistance of a group like your whatever, and then came to the council and said, this is what we've got, this is what we can get together.
I mean, that's the sort of thing that Andrew and Suki could. I'm very conscious I can't make promises now, but Suki and Andrew may be able to pick that one up about how it's handled, because it is a very important part of the local community, and it needs a very big community input to make it happen. So
yeah, because I've just noticed with the presentations we've had, we've got very clever people in each of these communities, but if they actually pulled the resources in the context, but maybe need assistance to do that.
I did look at the one of them, and I thought that they'd had an overzealous engineer designing some of it, and it needed to actually have a very hard look at the costing. That's what I would be looking hard at. But the beauty of a trust like ours is that we are there amongst the community, and Suki has just got a phenomenal network on the ground. So we should pick that up and we can run. Thank you. You'll see me later.
I see that.